Hey everyone, this is Ricardo De Cruz talking today about a 2020 Toyota Corolla and how to do a camera calibration using 7-step ADAS. So on your screen, you should now see what Toyota's instructions are for the setup. So if you're looking at this for the first time, essentially they want you to be 3,000 millimeters from point A. Point A is the camera. They want you to have your target set up 3,000 millimeters away from it and have the yaw, which is the angle that the target is placed at, as correct as possible to the vehicle. Now, their instructions are a little bit difficult to understand because they have you drawing 1,000 millimeter circles to establish points J and point G. So, looking at this and never having done one, this can be a little daunting and slightly confusing because they're telling you to measure out 3 points. They're telling you to make your center line, make your point B, which is going to be the front point, make a point C, 409 millimeters away from it, and then a point D, which is 2,079 millimeters away. And essentially what Toyota is trying to tell you is they want you to use these two outer points to then determine the middle point, and that will be your angle for your target. What Toyota fails to realize in this exercise is that without any left or right side lines, it's very difficult to get your yaw rate as close to the vehicle as possible. Most ADAS manufacturers have you utilize wheel adapters like a wheel alignment machine would use, and that will help you get your yaw rate significantly better. I personally do not think it is as good as our 7-step ADAS system, and we're going to show you now how and why that works. So looking at this from a holistic view, you might think, hey, they just want the middle point between C and D. So if you took your calculator, pardon mine's got a lot of stuff on here, and you subtracted 2079 minus 409, you get 1670. So that is the difference or the distance in here. Divide that by 2, and you get 835. And then you add the original 409, and you come up with 1,244 millimeters. That would be the center of C and D from the front of the vehicle. So depending on your ADAS setup, you likely have instructions that are included with it. In the Texa instructions, they tell you to place the vehicle 1,244 millimeters from the front bumper. And looking back at the calculation we just did, that is the exact number we received. So the difference is the Texa setup has you utilize their wheel adapters to adjust your yaw rate, as you can see in this diagram here. So I have set up this car with the 7-step ADAS system. I'm going to put out an infographic like I typically do. My apologies, I didn't have time to finish that today. But I'm going to show you what it looks like when you utilize the 7-step ADAS system and you just simply add a right line. So I'm going to transfer out now and go into the shop. Okay, so here we have our Corolla. And here is a sample of what Toyota would ask you to do. So they want you to draw 1,000 millimeter radius circles. We found that using 1,000 millimeter rulers was a really easy way to do this prior to using the 7-step ADAS system. So I've set up the rulers so you can visually see what that diagram would look like in the real world if you were trying to replicate it, not knowing your middle point. So that's what it would typically look like. Now, I have not made my line from here out because I want to show you. So you can see, based on how the car is set up, there is my driver's side line, There's my passenger side line. And here is my center line. So going based off of the Texa instructions, they want 1,244 millimeters. So you'll have to forgive my setup. I have everything staggered to show you with the lasers. Typically, I don't have things set up like this. It's much simpler. But I'm going to come over to this side and show you where 1,244 is. So it is right there. Right there. So I'm going to grab my laser and make my line going across. My goal is to meet the center at the same exact 1,244. So I'm going to accomplish this by setting up my target so I know where 44 is when I'm coming from this side. So I'm going to put this down temporarily. I'm going to get my other laser. I'm going to set up this cross line to show you. So now to make this as perfect as possible, I'm going to remove this square because I no longer need it. I still have my driver's side line coming down. I'm going to come over here to 1,244 millimeters and set up. So here you can see 1,244. You can see I have made my right angle go back and hit my target and my original laser back up in that corner. And you can see here that I am at 1,244. So I'm just going to remove this target to see how good my arches are. So it is exactly where I would have been if I utilized my 1,000 millimeter rulers, or if I was handy enough to draw my 1,000 millimeter arches. This is not a setup, guys. I just laid these down to show everybody how this can be done and how fast this can be done. This entire setup does not take long at all. This will take you probably 20 minutes your first time and 10 minutes or less every other time. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove everything you see here so I could set up my target system, and we're going to give it a whirl. So I'm pulling this back because I need room to move the Texa system. already measured my target height. It is set at 1,350 millimeters. Now I'm going to wheel my target into place. I'm going to show you in a minute how I know exactly where it is. Okay, so from the back side, because we have the laser in front of the car and not behind it, when the laser's behind the car, it's very difficult to get through there and give you any good reading. So from here, you can see we are pretty close to target. We're kind of on it. The camera's skewing it a little bit, but it's there. So now when you come around to the front, see, this is where the lines pay off, guys. Come around to the front, and Texa does not have measurements here like the Autel did, but they do have these placeholders. I've been too lazy to put any actual measurements on here because I'm pretty good at doing this by eye. It is a bias you build when you do this consistently. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are about an inch or slightly less than the number 4 mark. Looking at this in the center again, you can see we are on it. And looking at the left side, so now our driver's side line, 1, 2, 3, almost 4, about the same distance. So I'm really comfortable with the placement. And because I used this, I can set up a perfect line across to hopefully give me a good yaw rate. So we're all set up. Let's see where it takes us. Lower center target. Calibration failed. Center target cannot be recognized. You know what? My camera's really dirty. I wonder if that's it. Try that again. I just confirmed I was using the right targets. It's the bottom ones, not the top ones. Clean the camera. Let's see what happens. Okay. So I got somebody who just came in, so I might have to cut this short. Not what I want to do while something's going wrong, but I apologize. Height is correct, distance is correct, distance between, size of targets. Lower central target. There we go. So look at that, dirty windshield. Ruined the calibration. These are the kind of things that happens. This is why you have to dot all of your I's and cross all of your T's. And there we go. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. It was a great exercise today. We saw how a dirty windshield will stop a calibration. Other than that, I hope you guys picked up some great tips and advice on how to do accurate ADAS calibrations and to do them quickly. This video took about 20 minutes, and it literally takes me longer to talk about it than it does to do it correctly. Thank you guys, and catch you on the next one.